everybody, this is the Loopy Project Guy, and in this second video in our series of 15, we'll be talking about the location of the cabin, followed by the installation of the pier and beam foundation. So stage one is to spend a good amount of time designing the structure and the substructure. So before this video, a couple of weeks were spent performing that work and calculating all the needs of the cabin. But the other thing that's really important is the setting that you choose to put the cabin in. And here I'm going to show you the starting point to give you an idea of what we're looking at. So this is a view of the area I'll be building the cabin. A beautiful area on the edge of the river here in south central Texas. If you look over the edge, you can see a nice view of the river, and we'll have a balcony that extends out over the ledge here to give us some really nice views for sitting and watching the kayakers in the evenings and the wildlife sprawling about. First part of the project, I'll be putting in a pier and beam structure to support the cabin, and I'll be showing you how that progresses along as we go. Well, good afternoon, friends. It's a nicer day here, and this is your how to install a foundation for an off-grid cabin. So we're going to talk about that a little bit today and go through the steps of how we went about doing this project and getting it to this point. So first off, it's really important that you have a good helper. So in my case, I've got a good one sitting over here in the vehicle. I'm going to share with you now. Say hi, Wiley. That's my helper for today's foundation work, and he'll be supervising and guiding me through the steps in the process. He's a little bit shy. Well, first off, let's talk about the tools. So you do need quite a few tools for a project like this, and the foundation part is probably more comprehensive as far as tools go. So I'm going to share with you some of those. First off, you do need a level. You're going to be doing a layout, putting down the foundation, setting the corners, and staking out where your piers are going to go. And then once they're in place, you'll want to make sure it's good, square, and level. Here's a compilation of tools that you'll need for the project. Included our string line, a plumb bob, a cement mixer. Over here we've got an 8-inch auger leaning against a tree. Got that at the Harbor Freight, and it's an 8-inch auger. You'll actually have to use a post hole digger to shave the hole out a little bit larger for the posts that we're going to put in place. You need a couple of hammers, a couple of levels, a trowel for the concrete finish work, a couple of saws will come in handy, and battery powered if you have them, to minimize the need for generation or if you don't have power to your location. You do need jigs, or I call them wedges, and these kind of hold the piers in place until you cement them in. Make sure they're square and exactly on dimension. Safety gear is very important. Of course, gloves and safety glasses. So after you get all your tools together, the next thing you want to work on is getting a very good layout for your piers. Now, most of this work should have been done in the design phase, and I show you that in a previous video. But today I'm going to show you some of the piers complete. I still have a few more to go, but I'll walk through some of the details of these piers. So I'm showing you the layout now of the piers, and I built them roughly on a 6-foot center. Well, I'll be using mainly 12-foot length boards, and so I put these on 6-foot centers to accommodate that and minimize waste. So each pier here consists of a pressure treated 6x6 post, and I've augered holes about 32 inches deep, and I've then used a post hole digger to make the hole about 1 foot in diameter. Some cases a little bit bigger, some cases a little bit smaller. When I put the concrete in the hole, I actually put 6 to 8 inches in first, set the post on top of that concrete,
And the reason for that is the load on these posts is primarily down. It's going to be pushing the post down with the weight of the building. And so the concrete below the post helps keep the post from compressing further into the ground. Side loads aren't as critical. You won't have a lot of side-to-side movement here, especially on a 6 foot by 6 foot layout. Therefore, having really big holes isn't necessary in this case. It's really about depth. It's really about concrete under the post to keep the post from sinking down. So the first step is to drill out all the holes and shape them after you have a good square layout. Now, I can't emphasize enough the importance of the layout. The more square the foundation is, the easier the construction process is the rest of the way, all the way up to the roof. So make sure it's very good and square. And the way you do that is start with your corner posts. And the corner posts in this case, I've got a 24-foot dimension from this post to the far one, and a 24-foot dimension from this post to the far one we see in the distance. So once you measure the 24 by 24 by 24, then you measure corner to corner. And those dimensions need to be exactly the same. Once you have them exactly the same, you're square, okay? So then you start off with your first post, set it in concrete, get it positioned, come to your second post on 24 foot, get that set perfect, and then you can measure out your corner to corner dimensions to make sure your other posts get set correctly. After that, it's as easy as running a string line along the edge of the post and set your other posts on dimension. And if you start out square and keep working those dimensions, it'll be completed square. So things are coming along pretty well. I still have about 5 posts yet to drill out and set that I'll be doing over the next couple of days. A big job for one person, but it can be done with one person. So if you choose to take on a project like this, I wish you the best of luck, and I leave you with a beautiful view we'll have when the project is complete. Thanks for watching, and give me a thumbs up, and we'll see you next time.